Hi guys, Ellie here in the garden, and today I'm harvesting some beans. So let's see how many we can get. I've got this bowl and I'm going to see how many beans we can fill it with. Up until very recently, we were only collecting like 4 or 5 beans at a time. But this is just off one bush that I've recently harvested. And we've ended up with a substantial handful of beans. And we still have a few more plants to check out. Over here I have 2 bean plants that I have been growing because I knew that the gem squash would eventually come down and this area would look a little bit bald. So I filled it in with something that could also group up and we could make more use of our vertical growing space. So I'm just going to come along and harvest these. These are both Witza beans and they are very prolific yields and a nice tasty bean, more of a French bean than a string bean. But this one is grown up and over. There's even beans hanging in the inside of the chicken run, so I may have to go around and grab that one. This is our green beans that we planted out together just after the hail. And they are now starting to put on some beans. But I just wanted to show you how many beans I have potentially in my future. And I currently have, which is amazing. I'm so glad to be having a cool new something different coming out of the garden, because we haven't had fresh beans in a long time, and our vine has made it up to the top of the arch and crossed over and is now starting to wrap itself around the top. But she looks so cool, and there's so many beans. So that's what it's looking like so far. Here in the container garden, these purple king bush beans are ready to be harvested. So I'm going to come along and take off the ones that I can. They have already started setting more beans and they're loaded with flowers, so there is definitely the potential to get a few more beans here. And I'm looking forward to it. This is really not a bad harvest. Going to move on to our next harvest now, and we are moving on from the fresh beans and on to our dry beans. I am coming around to harvest all of these beans. Even though the shells at the moment are not 100% dry, I know that they would be if we weren't experiencing so much rain, and I don't want to create an opportunity for mold to grow, so I'm just going to harvest them today. While I was harvesting here, I noticed that there are still some beans on this plant, so I'm going to leave them to continue to develop and we can go and harvest the others. For this orca bean, I am going to come around and just harvest all of the beans off of the plant. Again, I will be putting them in the dehydrator just to ensure that they dry correctly before I deshell them. And then they'll probably be used for seed for the next season. I did grow these on a whim after the hail destroyed our yard. So I'll probably grow more of these next year or in the up and coming seasons. But for now, they will just be used for seed. They are not really enough here for a meal. So we'll take what we can get and we'll be grateful for it. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but in the last couple of videos, anytime I had to harvest anything or prune something, I was doing it with a pair of scissors. And I couldn't figure out where I had put them. And I know that's the curse of the gardener. We put things down and we never pick them up. But I had actually put these on the shade net structure. And, well, fortunately, the other day Duncan walked past and he happened to look up. And he was like, oh, do you not maybe need these? Life has been better since. So these two beans are not quite as developed as the others. You can see they're just not at the right stage for harvesting. So I will leave those on the plant. I'm not going to save this plant just for this one bean. I will rather forego the bean. So I'm just going to come around and cut it off at the base. Remove my bamboo. Feed the plant to the worms. Put the bamboo away. This is our harvest for the day. We've got a mix of beans here. There are 3 different varieties. There's a Jack's Giant bean, there is Witza beans, and King Purple bush beans. The ones that have a little bit of a magic trick. Stick around, I will show you that. Then we've also got some Orca beans here, as well as some black beans. So while I was harvesting the black beans, I did find a moldy one, and I just thought that was pretty cool because then I could show you what we're trying to actually prevent. Hey guys, I just wanted to say thanks for hanging out with me today while I did a little bit of a harvest of beans. I'm still very grateful for what I got, and I'm actually a little bit impressed that in my tiny garden I managed to harvest this many beans. This is at least 2 meals for Dunks and I, so that's a win. And the nice thing is I know that there's more coming in still. I don't know if it'll be as many, if it'll be more. We'll get what we get, but I'm very grateful for what we have at the moment. Let me take you in and show you my magic trick. I really hope that this shows well on camera, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. What I've got here is a mug, and I'm just going to pour some hot water in it from out of the kettle. Look how cool this is. This bean changes color as you cook it. So I don't think the camera is doing it very much justice, but you can see it. They change from this lovely shade of purple to the shade of green. Who wouldn't want to grow magic beans? Hello, Toasty too.